everybody, what's going on? Glowplasma 231 here, and today I just really wanted to talk about Shonen Jump issue number 29 of 2023, and really just talk about everything I read in it this week and what I really thought about every series, just going through all of it. So, for the uninitiated, I read a good portion of Shonen Jump each week. This week I actually read, if I do the math here, 14 series in the magazine itself. I really enjoy what Jump has to offer. Thus is why I read it. Full disclosure, I don't read everything. It's just not really my thing. There's some type of series I don't like. Our series that just drop as time goes on. And yeah, I just read a bunch of stuff in Jump and I just want to talk about it. So the way I'm going to be talking about it here is I'm going to be talking about it in the order I read each week. And I don't know if this is something that a lot of other people do, but I have a specific way I always read. I normally read My Hero Academia first, and I normally do Undead Luck, Mashle, Magic, and Muscles. I normally read One Piece second, if it's available. Black Clover, sometimes third, but today I read it fourth. And then I normally do, like, the newer release sort of stuff. And then I always end it out with the same four series of Akane Banashi, Blue Box, Exclusive Samurai, and Witch Watch. That's just how I've done it for a good long time at this point. And also, for the other uninitiated, I actually have a massive spreadsheet that I've been doing since 2021 where I go through everything I read every week and just rate it on what I thought about it. So I have every series in order of what I thought about them, did I like them, did I dislike it, pretty much just ranking every chapter in order of what I thought about it. And really without further ado, I want to talk about my whole rankings at the end of the week, and I also pick an MVP, but that's really besides the point. Right now, I just want to talk about the chapters. So, starting off with My Hero Academia, it was a pretty basic week for My Hero. I mean, it was only a 9-page chapter, which is really bad. I mean, Horikoshi, please get healthy soon. It's really just not good. But it was just a whole chapter just going back and forth on, oh, look at that, it's Toga and Ochako getting ready to face off. Whoop-de-doo. I mean, I'll be talking about the chapter more extensively in the My Hero Academia chapter review whenever I get to it eventually. But just right now, I mean, it was just a chapter and not one to really say much about. And again, just Horikoshi get good soon. Next thing I read was Undead Unlock, which I thought was a really good chapter. It was really fun just going and seeing Fuko go through everything with Shin. And there was a joke halfway through the chapter about Shin and Mui. Of course, Mui is his romantic interest in the previous loop, so that was just really, really fun. And recently I went back through and reread all of Undead Unluck, and this chapter is just a really good chapter to me because Shin is my favorite character, and the summer arc is probably my favorite arc just because of Shin and Mui and all of that. So just getting to sort of see this loop's whole perspective on Shin is great. And also, I just love a good martial arts tournament. And also, yeah, it's just really funny what Fuko's plan is. I mean, good chapter, just don't have really much to say about it either. Next was Mashle, Magic, and Muscles. And, yeah, it was an alright chapter of Mashle. You're going to hear me say it a lot, because a lot of these series don't really have too fleshed out ideas on. Mashle was objectively pretty funny last week. You had the whole thing of the continental like kickboard or whatever that Mash did to completely move the island, and it really made Innocent Zero more of a joke character this week, but I am really happy to see that. Oh my gosh, it looks like this fight in Mashle is finally over. Like, we have been on this fight for so incredibly long. Like, I'm pretty sure it was since the beginning of February, because like I said on my spreadsheet, I give a character of the week every week, and I'm pretty sure that week, whenever Mash finally came back, started beating on Instant Zero, I gave him character, which means that we've had about 16 chapters, maybe more than that. I mean, it's been a good 4 months, if not 5, that this has been going on, and finally just to see it end, I'm happy with that. I really don't know if Mash is going to stick around too much longer, but, I mean, we see Tom Knowles on the last page, so what's not to love about that? The next thing I read was, let's come over here and see, Black Clover. Whoop-de-dee, Black Clover this week has had an experience. The movie came out. I still haven't watched it at the time of recording this, but I want to. I thought this was a really good Black Clover chapter. I mean, still, I think it was only, 15 pages? That's par for the course for Black Clover. I really like how Mimosa, halfway through the chapter, appeared and sort of gave the rattling cry and sort of based it off of her love for Asta. And then we saw Seke do something cool. And, I mean, Sek's such a loser, but he looked really cool, and just using Yuno's amplification magic to sort of amplify his own, it was just really cool. And at the end of the chapter, having, I think the dude, his name was like Demontio, having him disappear out of nowhere, and him sort of going to be the antithesis to fight the Black Wolves here till Asta gets back, that is thematic as hell. And I enjoy that, because if we think about it, that's who the Black Wolves were fighting against, and that's why the whole Spade Kingdom arc occurred, was because Asta was being persecuted, and Dementio, or whatever you want to call him, I forgot his name, don't care enough to research it, is there. That's cool. I like it. Not much else to say besides that point. Ichinose's Family Deadly Sins was next, and like every week, I just feel like the Ichinose's Family Deadly Sins is always just one of the craziest rides you can go on. It had the stuff starting off the shower with like Shiori and like what's going on with her. Is she the one putting notes in the room? No, it's not. Was it the grandma? Okay. And at the end, learning finally Soda's identity. That's cool. It's the big brother of the family, which makes sense because throughout the series, you've had 6 sort of main characters. You've had Tsubasa, Shiori, the 2 parents, and the 2 grandparents, which is 6. So it makes sense why it's called Deadly Sins, because there's 7 deadly sins. I mean, that was the whole point of another manga series I've never read. But just another sort of one more of them, and it's Sota. That's really interesting. And just to know how this dream all ties together, being that he was like the doctor, but he's also the dad in the dream. I know there's a lot of foreshadowing this series, but just to know, and just like the ending off note at the end of it, with Soda just being like, hey, it's been fun, Tsubasa, and Tsubasa just waking up going like, big bro. Okay, I really enjoyed this chapter, and I'll just spoil it now. I gave Soda my character of the week just because I thought it was just a really cool reveal. Next up, if we go down in Typeline, it was Tenmaku Cinema. I'm not really going to get into Tenmaku Cinema too much here because, of course, I'm going to do a review on the channel of it here, and, well, whenever I get them all recorded. But Tenmaku Cinema was great. It had the color page, which is, or not color page, but just the intro page, which was whatever. But this chapter was really all just about meeting that director, Yukio, more. And, yeah, really interesting. And sort of his relationship with Karai, just going through it. I really enjoyed it. And then at the end of the chapter, it's exactly what needed to happen. Somebody else is finding about the shore. Somebody who probably won't tell because they're going to be really invested in seeing how it turns out for the crew. Great chapter. 10 out of 10. Just a really phenomenal chapter and really not much else to say. Next up was Kill Blue. Well, I have problems with this series and sort of what it is. I still really enjoyed it. It opened up like I think a good amount of series opened up this week with. It was just sort of a weird start that, okay then, I didn't realize that this was going this way, but yeah. So Norin has some friends, and it's these 2 friends who've sort of made friends of Otogami so far, and sort of we're learning, some other people are learning that Otogami is a good dude, and he's doing this stuff to help out Norin in a way, right? And we also see Ogami's master's there. Oh, whoop-de-dee. And just going through its whole past fire battle thing, I think was sort of stupid. But at the end, the whole thing of like Otogami wanting to protect Norin and he has a different kind of love for her, I'm not really a fan of that. It's sort of getting like creepy territory for me. But I understand where the author's going, and yeah, I mean, I'm going to keep reading it. I'm definitely just not going to stop after how far it's gotten, but it was a chapter. Next up was Nue's Exorcist. This series is a train wreck, and one I just want to keep reading because it's such a train wreck. And that's as much as I want to say about it. I mean, the whole, oh, look at this, I don't watch this, oh no, it's a transfer student thing, oh man, Nui's here at the end, what's going on? It's just so stupid, and it's just really stupid. There's not much to say. Fabricant 100. This series is so interesting that it's still running to me. I mean, it should be surprising you, it's still running. It's all about the dude's sister, which, if I can find out the sister's name, it looks like the dude's name is Kugi, but I don't really remember any characters in this series, but sort of cool thing, and there was sort of like a fight scene halfway through it, and it's Ayako, that's the girl's name. There's a better Ayako in Elusive Samurai, but this Ayako girl being a traitor, but there may be two of them. Weird brother will kill her at a moment's notice, and oh, they're at a carnival. Yeah, this wasn't a really good chapter, and I'm surprised the series is still running, but as long as it's running, I want to support it, because I feel like it can be really good in time. Next series I read was one of the new ones this week, and, well, the new one, which is Martial Master Asumi. Now, like I said, while I enjoy, like, a good fighting arc, like, that sort of thing, I've never actually read a series with that as the basis. So, being able to sort of read Martial Master Asumi this week, it was sort of fun. I mean, it was how you normally figure out a chapter to start off. We learned that this dude thinks of himself as, like, a loser, and he goes through, and he has a grandpa who's really badass, but he's on the low bar at school, and goes through, beats some people up, and just throughout the chapter, I mean, it's a good back and forth as we meet this girl, which I don't really remember her name. Okiba, that's what her name is. So we meet Okiba as we go through, and she eventually is an instructor at a mixed martial arts gym. We meet some other people just going through, like, Asumi's friend, which I'm also feeling, I forget the name, but Yuta, I think. And Yuta wants to get strong, so the girl sort of fights with and spars with him, and it's a whole thing throughout the chapter of how Asumi looks at himself as weak until eventually he gets cornered with nobody else around him, and he beats the shit out of some people. And throughout that, this Okiba girl sort of takes a liking to him and is, hey, train at our gym, and all of that stuff. So it was a fun chapter. I have all new things in Jump, 3 chapters, and if I'm not liking it by then, I'm going to drop it, but from what it seems like, I'm sure I'll enjoy it. Next was Akane Banashi. This was a chapter of Akane Banashi. It was showing, what's her name? Oh, boy. Not Karashi, SCR1. Hikaru, that's her name. I only had to read like half the chapter to figure it out. But it's going through Hikaru's old Rakugo spiel, just going through it, and I really like Kane Banashi, but recently it's just been the same old, which isn't bad, but it's just been like that, and the whole reveal at the end of Master Kidden's sort of grand plan for just going through and telling her, master the basics, don't do any of this other stuff because it's never going to work, and then eventually telling her, do this other stuff, it's going to work, was just a really fun and stupid way to make Hikaru sort of a fearsome thing, and I really like it because it's talking about, like, radio and broadcasting and all that stuff like that, and understand by listening technique. I'm a fan of the radio and that sort of thing, so I really do like that. And the whole thing of the technique being called the 8 Blind Men, it's so stupid, but it was a fine chapter. I don't think really many series were bad this week, just some were worse than others. Next was Blue Box. Blue Box was just, again, so cute and amazing this week. It was, oh, look at this, Taiki and Shinatsu are now dating, and they're a couple. Taiki's leaving the train station because he's so aloof, and oh, look at that. He meets up with Kyo and everybody at the ski trip, and oh man, he talks to Kyo about it because Kyo is there. Taiki gets back to his house, and Shinatsu eventually shows up, and they want to talk about, you're going to tell Taiki's parents that you're dating, and Taiki says it'll probably be a bad idea, so they're not going to. And yeah, that's the whole deal of it. And this is a really cute chapter, because at the end they hold hands and have a handshake, so it's okay. And yeah, it's just a really cute chapter. I don't really know what else to say about it. Elusive Samurai. This is finally the last chapter of the whatever, like 1336 interlude. Oh, I'm so happy it's over, because literally ever since this interlude started, I haven't cared about the Elusive Samurai. We had that really cool chapter, what was it, a few weeks ago, where everything sort of started, and you're like, where's the Elusive Samurai going to go from here? Then we've just had this intermission for like 4 weeks in a row, and I'm just like, I don't even care about it. Like, I sort of like some stuff about Kusunoki through it, but I just don't care. But it looks like we're going to be getting back to Tokuyuki and all of the gang next time, and they have time skip appearances. Would you look at that? So cool. And then the final chapter I read this week was Witch Watch, which was really good. It started off on a really weird note, because it started off with Moy on the front page just going like, when Nico tells me your feelings, how am I going to answer? Because it hasn't really seemed like that he was supposed to know what was going on, but apparently he does. So it's a little weird, but it's just a fun build-up throughout the chapter, just seeing Nico relying on all of these feelings. It sort of seems like Keigo and this other girl here, let's find her name. I don't really remember, but she is going to be very important throughout time. So it is really interesting just to see it all happen. And just as they're going through and revealing to this girl, oh no, is a witch, but as of now, she is a warlock. It's fucking crazy and I love it, so I'm just really happy. I do like just some foreshadowing that goes through as you think that maybe this girl and Keigo sort of have like some romantic tension or something going on. She's like, honestly, I'm super nervous to her right now. I've been since this morning, just saying that eventually this is just going. Oh, her name is Kumagi, so that's fun fact. So the Kumagi just going through and eventually just saying, I'm turning on you, this is while I was nervous. Boom, bitch, there we go. Was just really fun. I really enjoyed it. There's not, like, really a whole lot more to say. And yeah, that's why I read Jump this week. This was an alright week. I don't really feel like there's a whole lot of really good stuff, but there definitely was some. I mean, for instance, this week, just to go through my total rankings, Blue Box was number 1, Witch Watch was number 2, Undead Unluck was number 3, and then from there we go to Tenmaku Cinema, Mashal, Kill Blue, Ichinose Family, Black Clover, Martial Master Sumi, Akane Banashi, MHA, Elusive Samurai, Fabricant 100, and Nue's Exorcist. Yeah, it was a decent week. I really think that Blue Box, Witch Watch, and Undead Unluck, and Tenmaku Cinema were really the cream of the crop. And then Mashal, Kill Blue, Ichinose Family, Black Clover, Martial Master Sumi, and Akane Banashi were sort of in that middling range of, yeah, it was a good chapter. It was one that furthers the plot, and for that, I thank it. Then My Hero Academia was just like, come on, Horikoshi, heal yourself up. I don't enjoy reading the series while I know that Horikoshi's doing so bad. Elusive Samurai, Nue's Exorcist, and Fabricant 100 sucked. And again, like I said, my character of the week was Soda from Ichinose's Family, or as I shorten it to, Ichi-Fam, because that works better than saying Ichinose Family. Overall, alright week in Jump, not a whole lot to say. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more of me going over my thoughts of Shonen Jump every single week, hey, just let me know. I'm always open to be doing new types of videos, and hey, this is one of them, so yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I have a whole bunch more to say. Like and subscribe, please do all of that general YouTube stuff on my way to getting 100 subscribers. We're a little over halfway there right now, so if we can reach that by the end of the year, I'd be a happy camper. So without further ado, I don't have much else to say, and yeah, this will be Glowplasma 231